Sit back, relax, and enjoy as Don Tony gives you news and reviews from AEW.
Welcome to the party! Oh my God! Those are coming, Sammy!
NXT.
It's over! Cross is here to ransack NXT souls!
And indie wrestling. It's Wednesday night, Dynamite.
Know what's happening in the world of wrestling without the hate and clickbait. And now, your host, Don Tony.
I am back. I'm back. Vacation is over. It is Wednesday night Dynamite, April 7th, 2021. I want to thank you all for tuning in. First off, to my YouTube family, I owe you a little bit of an apology. Yesterday, Mish and I did a joint show. We did our usual Patreon show, but we also did predictions for NXT TakeOver Night 1 and Night 2. And, look, we usually do Patreon shows audio only, so I gave Mish the option if he wanted to do video or audio, and he wanted to do audio. So because I didn't do video yesterday, it's not very easy to just put on an audio episode with a banner when you don't have all your software with you. So it was available everywhere else but here. No more. No more. If I don't have shows available here, then I don't do them anywhere going forward. Now, I'm going to avoid posting the videos of the jackpots that I hit over the weekend. If you really want to amuse yourself, go to my Twitter, @DonTonyD. Let's just say we raked it in. It was pretty cool. Came home about $3,000 up, and I only spent about $150 the whole weekend. But forget that. Let me explain to everyone what the format is tonight. You see the title of the show, you probably could figure it out. Tonight, tomorrow, Friday, WrestleMania weekend, and next week. Now, first off, tonight I am only reviewing AEW Dynamite. And the reason why I'm doing it that way is because tomorrow night I will do the full-blown NXT TakeOver. 2 nights. We will do it as one show. That will happen tomorrow night, 10:05 p.m. Eastern. Join me here. I did watch about 90% of NXT tonight as I was watching Dynamite. And I tell you, you know me, having focus, just talking to you one-on-one, all that outside noise doesn't cloud your brain anymore. And I'm not one of those that craps on everything. I know that there's an audience out there that we could just complain and crap and insult and rip, and I probably would get more people tuning in for that. I'd rather be straight up honest with all of you out there. I know this might be a little bit of an exaggeration. I'm a little concerned for AEW. Tonight was a good example why. We have a segment with Sting interrupted by Lance Archer. Lance Archer storms off and the camera pans on Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky in the crowd laughing like, the hell is this? Now, I know they're heels. I know they're playing it up, but I couldn't agree with them more. That segment was horrendous. Then you have Jurassic Express against, not Bear Country, but I call them Bear Throom. Instead of bathroom, bear, instead of bathroom, bathroom. They are a bathroom break for me. Jim Ross says that parts of this match was bowling shoe ugly. I couldn't agree with him more. But the worst thing that I saw tonight, I don't know if you caught it, but me, I am a stickler to detail. every little thing that I do, it's got to be fine-tuned, and I don't accept mediocre. Sure, what I do is mediocre, but I damn try my hardest not to be mediocre. Did you see that god-awful shit that happened after Darby Allin's match and JD Drake tonight? If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. After the match is over, Butcher and the Blade come out to start beating up on Darby Allin. Remember, Matt Hardy, wants to take out the Dark Order. He also hates Darby Allin. I guess we're probably going to see a little bit of interaction with the Dark Order and Darby Allin. But as the Butcher and the Blade were beating down on Darby Allin, here comes a couple of members of the Dark Order to scare Team Hardy away. And Sting has the goddamn bat. I swear to you, I'm not exaggerating this. Go back and watch it and then post in the comment section if I'm blowing it out of proportion. I know I'm not. Sting has the baseball bat. And obviously, he wants to use it on all the people that are trying to beat down Darby Allin, the Butcher, and the Blade, for example. The Dark Order go and chase away the Butcher and the Blade. And the left side of, the rampway where they exit, Sting is standing there. And the Butcher and the Blade run past Sting, and the Butcher actually taps Sting like, get out of my way. Walk by him. The Butcher and the Blade storyline are trying to take out Darby Allin and Sting, and they run away and they run right past Sting, and Sting is like, which way should I go? Which way should I go, George? Which way should I go? It was so awful. It was so goddamn awful. I'll tell you why I'm a little concerned about AEW. Because it's starting to feel like WCW. And please, don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that they're repeating the failures of WCW financially. And they don't have Hogan's and, uber egos like Nash and others, because even though AEW has a lot of wrestlers working backstage and they do put themselves front center on TV, they can back it up in the ring. They really can. That's the difference. So I'm not faulting them. The problem I see happening now is almost the insistence of putting pay-per-view quality matches on Dynamite. The Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks would be a fun main event or semi-main event on any AEW pay-per-view. In 4 weeks, May 5th, we're going to have a blood and guts match between the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. Free TV once again. Now, I want you seriously to think about this. I found myself numerous times tonight focusing on NXT, even though I wasn't covering it until tomorrow. What's going to happen on the nights that NXT is not on as the alternative? When you got bathroom break country out there, and you got, next week, it's the debut of Anthony Ogogo. Wake me up before Ogogo. He's got a nice look. Who cares about him right now? He's going to come out there with who that? Who the fuck cares? So you're going to have fans now that really have to find another alternative. And trust me, when you have NXT on and you decide, I'm going to tune into NXT for a few minutes. NXT, with the exception of takeovers and themed events, NXT puts on their fair share of matches that make you want to change the channel as well. I talk about that all the time. All right, but it keeps you in the wrestling frame of mind when you change the channel. What happens if you turn off of AEW Dynamite and then you start watching a baseball game, or you start watching a movie, or one of those old school movies that no matter what time of night it is, if it's on the TV, even if it's commercials and it's censored, you still watch it. You're not going to have that wrestling frame of mind anymore. And I'm really concerned because you take away the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. You take away Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and even a little bit of Moxley. What do you have? You are forced to have almost every week pay-per-view quality names fighting each other. And for WWE, that has the WWE Network and crazy-ass merchandise, not just shirts, and all this other stuff, and all this revenue stream, you can get away with doing that. But as far as AEW goes, they're blowing through matches. I watched tonight Hangman Page and Max Caster have a match. It was decent. I mean, the ending was a little sloppy. Hangman Page totally missed the moonsault on Anthony Bowens. But why am I criticizing this match? When I heard the commentator say that this is to determine who's ranked number one, Hangman Page and Max Caster are battling to see who's ranked number one? Do you realize the shit job they've done with Hangman Page in the last 6 months? And I like Max Caster. I've been putting over the Acclaim since the day they debuted on AEW. But you take away those people. You know, Jericho cut an epic promo tonight. One of my and it's not just because I love Jericho and I'm an AEW fan too, but Jericho cut one of those promos that you will remember for a very long time. But I brought this up before. You have 5 members of the Inner Circle and 5 members of the Pinnacle. What are you going to do? 2, 3 matches per show? Then what happens? You have Britt Baker trying to cut a shoot promo that the ranking system sucks. The ranking system sucks. You know, to try to give this suspension of disbelief, like, look at the matches I've had. I deserve a title shot. Yeah. Look at Hikaru Shida's championship reign. I've been bringing this up every week. Look at this reign that Hikaru Shida's had. I think Hikaru Shida is the number 1 female in AEW. If you want to consider Thunder Rosa part of AEW, you know, commingling with NWA, I would put Thunder Rosa number 2. Possibly almost number 1 with Shida. And I say that to remind everyone how much I respect and praise Hikaru Shida's work. With that said, she has had one of the worst championship reigns in women's wrestling history. Now I'm talking about anybody who had a extended run with a title. I invite anybody out there to go look at Hikaru Shida's win-loss record for the last 6 months, 8 months. And don't give me, oh, it's COVID. It's COVID. Because you have other people wrestling 20, 30 times the number of matches that she has. It is horrendous. Look at Team Taz. When was the last time that Brian Cage, other than that match with Darby Allin, when was the last time that he had like any momentum on AEW Dynamite? Powerhouse Hobbs, he's constipated. He's got the constipated look. They have done nothing with Powerhouse Hobbs. And look at Lance Archer today. Oh my God. Lance Archer is my favorite wrestler currently in AEW. So I want you to understand that as I say this. They have been doing this for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Well, Lance Archer is aggravated that he's not getting opportunity, all right? The heel turn on Sting a month ago was forced. It was stupid. You don't try to break something that's not fixed. But he comes out today, and he interrupts Sting again. And I'm thinking to myself in storyline, okay, maybe they're going to have Lance Archer versus Darby Allin. And Lance Archer is annoyed. He's stressed. That should be his time, not Sting. And then what does Sting do? Who's that public motivational guy? Anthony something. So the guy with the teeth. All right, so someone in the chat will bail me out on this one. Anthony something with the big teeth. Not de Blasio and not Thomas. Who's the guy, Anthony? Tony Robbins. No, I figured out myself. Tony Robbins. Sting comes out with the Tony Robbins speech. Lance Archer, you're one of the top. Now go out there and do it and prove it and show everyone. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's going to come out and beat the balls off of Darby Allin so he gets his shot against Darby Allin. Sting does this emotional, maybe he's trying to be Paul Heyman. Go for the breast ring. You have all the talent. You just got to go out there and take it and take it. And Lance Archer is looking at him and starts laughing and storms away. He storms away like he's got to go pee-pee. He like ran in the back like, oh, I gotta go. And then they flash the camera on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page and they're like, come on, man. You're serious? There are so many little problems with AEW right now that are starting to pile up, that are really starting to pile up. And I've been saying this for a year now. All of those people on social media that everything is cake and ice cream with AEW. Christian made his return last week. I loved it. I had in the back behind me, and you could go look at the archives. For 10 months, 11 months, I had a sign in the back right there that said Christian for the Hall of Fame. I'm a huge Christian fan. To see this guy compete in the Royal Rumble, have that moment with Edge, I felt good. Put a smile on my face. To see that he has new life in wrestling, that's inspirational. That's fucking awesome. I don't care about this noise on social media. Well, how old is he? He got a second chance at a wrestling career. He has a match last week with Frankie Kazarian, and it was very good. Wasn't epic. Wasn't a match that I'll really remember. And it shouldn't be a match that you remember because the whole storyline should be that he's got to work his way up, slowly work his way up. And what do I see on social media last week? It was so unbelievable. I'm here crying. If I died tomorrow, I'd be a happy wrestling fan. He's better than Kenny Omega. Holy shit. Do that at a funeral. Do it when you put a pet to sleep. Because he's... All of those people that have been putting this Uber cake and ice cream, and you know, we talk about it all the time. It's not just lonely, unemployed goofs on social media. It's wrestlers, it's executives, it's politicians, it's athletes, it's musicians, it's performers. They are addicted to attention, the cake and ice cream. Look at the Bellas. I have nothing personally against the Bellas, but every couple of months, you're thinking about returning, and WrestleMania comes in, and I think it's time for us to have another match. And then after WrestleMania, well, I got to go see my doctor, and nothing happens. Just to get that attention. I'll never forget when Nikki Bella said to everybody out there, everybody pray for me. I go to the doctor next week, and he determines if I can return back in the ring. Meanwhile, she was already at the Performance Center. Just to get 1,000+ responses. We're praying for you. We're thinking about you. You can do this. We want to see you back. This is addicting to people out there. So all of these people that have these big podcasts and big websites and big areas that have been giving cake and ice cream to AEW and no criticism, fear of backlash, fear that they might get unfollowed. Those people are now coming to roost. Because starting next week, AEW is by itself. And if the ratings don't consistently go above 850, what are you going to blame it on? The baseball game on tonight. Well, Joe Biden is tripped down the stairs again. And I only said that because of Anthony Bowen's tonight, on the mic, which was pretty good. I mean, what excuse are you going to give now? You're going to dissect the demos still? All of these people that have been hyping this shit up, watch all the excuses they come up. And I can't wait. I think they're all going to get together and try to scheme up like big power outages. Is your TV working? No, mine isn't. It's like right now. Hey, everybody, I think we have a blackout. My lights aren't on. Your lights aren't on right now, right? But meanwhile, the lights are on. Oh, it's hacky. It's hacky. There have been, this was the funniest thing, because I've been doing this since 97. You all know that. And the funniest thing 20 years ago, when people would make excuses for ratings, for whatever feds it was, especially Thunder. Thunder was the funniest. There was Survivor back then. You had World Series. You had Monday Night Football. You had all of this stuff that still goes on today for the most part. And wrestling still kicked the living shit out of a lot of different forms of entertainment back then. Did you see Monday Night Football? Did you see Survivor? Did you see whatever TV show you watched, CSI, Spanish Harlem? Did you see them all say, oh, you know what? Monday Night Raw yesterday, man, look at that rating. They never made excuses for this shit. Only wrestling does that. Because these people have to have the cake and ice cream. My God, Tony Khan, it was so funny last week, and this is a perfect example of what I am talking about. I think it's Jade Cargill. I mentioned this last week. I don't know if it was here or might have been Patreon, but last week, Jade Cargill, and I like Jade Cargill, and she's going to fight next week against Red Velvet. Well, I hope the match is very good. She is really a nice person, and usually she'll say, good morning, everyone, God bless. She'll put herself over also, and she needs to, but she also is very nice on social media. So she one day wishes everybody a pleasant day, and Tony Khan goes on her Twitter and posts on her Twitter, hey, Joe at AEW. I don't know if his name is Joe. I think it might be, but if it's not, don't nail me with that. But hey, Joe, we need to get her verified. What happens next? Every cake and ice cream goof all tweeting to Tony Khan, hey, Joe, could you get me verified? Hey, I got 35,000 subscribers on YouTube. Could you get me verified? And a lot of them were just wink, wink. But they weren't wink, winked. They were trying to get noticed too. Why did Tony Khan have to do that publicly? Why didn't Tony Khan just DM his person in AEW, hey, can you work on getting Jade Cargill verified? No, he posted a tweet. Now, if he would have put at verified, then I would have said, okay, he's bringing it to verified's attention, Twitter verified, that she needs to be verified. But no, it's like, Joe at AEW, we need to get her verified. I sat there and I laughed. Every goof out there, they're going to hurt this promotion so much. They are so afraid to criticize stuff. And the ending of AEW tonight, this is Inner Circle all over again. The Young Bucks a couple of weeks ago, they're angry at Kenny Omega. They walk out on Kenny Omega. Then they're soft. And then Don Callis is in his face. And they're thinking about it. And they're like, no, we don't want to be part of this. And then and then they're thinking about it. And then today, they're having a match. But they're doing the Cody and QT Marshall. Oh, he's my friend, QT. I'm not going to put a move on him. He's my friend. This is fucking wrestling. I fucking laughed my ass off when Cody was asked last year, what do you think about a general manager in AEW? we would never insult our fans' intelligence. Our fans know that a GM doesn't really have power. We would not insult. What you're doing in the ring is a form of entertainment. And you tell me you're not insulting fans' intelligence with this goofy shit? I'm not going to hit my friend. Then don't have the goddamn match. And what do we get tonight? The Young Bucks. I'm not going to put the V trigger, BTE trigger, whatever it is, GTE, LED trigger on Kenny Omega. No, pile driver's okay. Pile driver's okay. No, we were just setting up Moxley. Yeah, so we just, give me a couple of pile drivers. Suspension of disbelief. You know, that doesn't necessarily break my neck. This is the Inner Circle all over again. Remember the Inner Circle? We're a cohesive unit. We party in Las Vegas. We get stoned or we wake up and Guevara's been married 3 times. Hornswoggle got laid by somebody and all this crazy. And then a week later, oh, we might have to break up. And then a week later, oh, these two are just having a match to get out of the system. And then a week later, oh, we're a cohesive unit again. Then a week later, we have to fight each other to figure out who goes for the tag titles next. And then they determine who that team's going to be just for the week after to have all 3 teams in a tournament. It's the same recycled shit. Are the Young Bucks going to be part of the elite or are they not? No, we're not. We're going to walk away. And then 2 weeks later, let me think about it. No. Let me. Am I exaggerating? I don't think so. Now, because I love doing shows for all of you, and I'm not pandering. I swear I'm not pandering. But the fact that I love doing shows for all of you is why I will always watch it and critique it. I want it to be better. And I'm an AEW fan. I have a lot of their merchandise. You know, I don't write, hey, at blah, 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 look, I bought you a shirt. I don't do that. I wear it with pride. I want to see it do better. But now when NXT is no alternative on Wednesdays, you better pray to God that they fucking do over 850 every single week. Unless some major situation happens that turns people away. Harris B, thank you very much. Harris, look, when I am talking to you and looking straight at you, I'm not doing notes. It's all coming from here, here, and here. Well, that's the same thing. Here and here. If you're a true wrestling fan, it comes out because you're watching it, you're absorbing it, you're thinking about it. And you can't fake that. I don't complain about AEW because I want hits, I want attention. Yeah, I might do it a little bit comical because I see these people out there that think they're helping and they're truly hurting these people. You know, I brought up yesterday the example of Karrion Kross, and I don't like name dropping stuff like that. But, Karrion Kross is a friend of the family. He's a friend of the family. And it feels good to see this guy getting skyrocketed to the top, and he's back from injury. Now, because he's a friend of the family, I could sit here and gush like some of these people out there that you know who I'm talking about. I'm not on Karrion Kross, I'm saying about the AEW stuff. And every day I could just say, no, you know how I pay tribute to the guy? My opening montage, that video for the opening of the show, I put him on there as a tribute. You know how I pay tribute to this guy? By being honest of what I see on TV. By being honest that, look, these quarter-hour ratings, you got to be a little concerned. And I'm not in the ring, so I'm not going to tell someone how to wrestle and how not to wrestle. But there are people out there that want to be told in their face, straight up, what somebody may think might be a little off. And it helps. It helps. Austin Nance, I always try to call it right down the middle. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but I try to call it down the middle. It's not the most popular view to take, but I'd rather be straight up, and I know a lot of you out there feel the same way I do. So if I could be a little bit of a voice for everyone out there, absolutely. And trust me, some of you out there have changed my views. on a lot of people. Pat McAfee was the perfect example of that. You've opened my eyes up on certain people. You tell me, hey, go check this person out, check this person out. And it gives me, a different viewpoint on it. Look at me. I freaking predicted the grizzled young veterans to win the tag titles tonight. Because I figured, even though I can't stand them, I figured they went to the Dusty Cup finals twice and lost twice. They've been in title matches repeatedly. When do you give them a bone? And I felt MSK chasing for the tag titles a little bit longer is money. They didn't go that route. But look at that. I actually thought Grizzled Young Veterans should win the tag titles. That's like blasphemy if people know how much I don't like them. Mr. Stoney Loney, much love, my friend. I needed those 4.5 days of vacation. I really did. It recharged my batteries. Let me have some quality time with the future missus. And, I was the one thing that I get very nervous with taking time off. But even though it's only 4.5 days, you come back, it takes days to get back in the mode, to get back into the ritual of what you do and, everything. And I was like, damn, this is actually pretty cool. I thought tonight, I was a little concerned just doing an AEW recap. I was like, man, I don't know if I could even fill 30 minutes today. We've done 31. But you know how my recaps are. It's not match by match by match by match by match. I will get into specific things, and I'll fill in the blanks here and there. But I try to explain what I think could help the product, not just what sucks. Anybody could complain, but if you need to have answers of what you would do to fix it. So, but thank you for that. Puffy89, what's up, my brother? He's currently enjoying a 10-day paid vacation from work for Mania Week. Oh, you lucky son of a bitch, man. Did his best to watch NXT and AEW at once. Not easy to do. Like I said, I did watch about 90% of NXT, but I'm going to hold off the review on NXT until tomorrow. We'll do the whole thing together. So let me very quickly, two things. What the format is for this channel for the next week or so. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, I will be here at 10:05 p.m. Eastern doing NXT TakeOver Night 1 and 2. We'll talk about some other stuff as well. The Don Tony Show stuff, Ask DT and stuff like that, we'll probably hold off for a week. So no DT Indie garbage stuff tomorrow. Friday, I will give you a SmackDown recap. I will give you my WrestleMania predictions for both nights on Friday. And I will give you the quarter-hour ratings for AEW. Now, you're saying right now, why aren't you going to give us the quarter-hour ratings for NXT? I thought about it, and the reason why I do not think it's appropriate is because tonight you had a choice of either watching TakeOver on the USA Network with commercials, or if you went on Peacock, you could see TakeOver also with no commercials. That was WWE and NBC, Peacock's way, NBC's way, to try to get people to sign up tonight. Oh, you don't want to deal with the split screen and the commercials? Just join Peacock. You could watch TakeOver uninterrupted. So a good chunk of fans watched TakeOver tonight through Peacock. Peacock streaming service network is not part of the Nielsen ratings. So tomorrow, and I warn you, tomorrow, if NXT does like 500,000 viewers on USA Network, if you see any goofs out there like rubbing it in NXT's face, look, on the way out, you suck, you did. Those are people just looking to get this. The fact is, a lot of people are watching TakeOver tonight through Peacock, and they do not factor in the ratings. So it is unfair for me to rate those quarter hours when you know a good chunk of the audience watched on a different service that's not factored in the numbers. So that's why we're not going to do that. Now, on Saturday, I will do night one of WrestleMania because when you're talking 15 matches, you do not want 15, 16, 17 matches covered on one recap show. It'll be 3-4 hours long. It'll be so draining. And then we got the night after Mania, which is Raw, which is, going to have some surprises. We might have some surprises on Mania itself. Nick Khan, the other white meat. Nick Khan, Ronda Rousey, coming back soon. Becky Lynch, coming back soon. Does soon mean what we said yesterday? Bayley does a ding-dong segment and Ronda comes out or Becky comes out? Could happen. We talked about it yesterday on Patreon. So Saturday, I will be here right after WrestleMania Night 1 to give you a recap. I will be back here Sunday night right after WrestleMania Night 2 to give you a recap. And then on Monday, I will be here with Mish for Breakfast Soup Raw, and it'll just continue. It'll continue. Now, as far as future, as of right now, I'm going to continue next week reviewing NXT and AEW on Wednesday nights. I polled all of my members here that subscribe as members, and 92% of them said, just keep the NXT and AEW recaps on Wednesday. So as of right now, I'm not going to be doing a Tuesday live NXT recap weekly. If NXT really starts to catch fire again, and it really feels like that's something that you all want to talk about live in real time right after it ends, then we will change that. So that is the plan for the next 10 days. So I will be doing a show every single day for the foreseeable future. So thank you again, Puffy. Much love to you, my friend. Papo Jr. Oh, Papo Jr., J. Carlos, 7X. Tomorrow, I have 2 big boxes I'm shipping out to both of you. I don't want to say what it is. I will say happy birthday to Jay Carlos. His birthday was a couple of days ago, April 3rd, and I wasn't around to wish you happy birthday, but tomorrow, got 2 big boxes. So if you get UPS or the post office, by the weekend or Monday, and there's a big box, you don't have to worry. It's not going to tick or anything like that. I'll give you a hint. It's the size of a Money in the Bank briefcase. I got a pair of briefcases coming out with some goodies shoved in there. So, first time you watch both shows simultaneously on the TV and the phone, and it was hard. Wow, I'm surprised at so many of you that did that tonight. That brings me back memories of Nitro and Raw. Trust me, a lot of people thought I was insane a year and a half ago to watch AEW and NXT live at the same time and do notes for both shows and then do recaps the same night. I know there's a lot of people out there that will do Dynamite one night, NXT another night. But me, it just gave me memories back to the Monday Night Wars. That's why I was willing to do it, but it's not very easy to do. And Darren Gordon Hill, he says, F you, DT. He woke up at 1 a.m. for NXT, and now I'm discussing AEW. Will I be combining WrestleMania review into one show? No. As I just said, I will do night 1 Saturday night. I will do night 2 Sunday night. This way we keep the shows a little bit shorter. I will have indexed all of the matches. So if you want to skip through a match and you don't want to hear me talking about maybe Riddle versus Sheamus, you could skip right through it. So we'll have some fun this week, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. But so thank you, my friend. Thank you. And everybody, once again, much love. Thank you for tuning in. And I know once in a while I'm a little pain in the ass of it, but if you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. The more you do that, I know you can only do it once, but the more you all do that, the more YouTube refers my show to others. And believe me, sometime soon, everything I do is going to be here. So, I want to blow this shit up, seriously, and in a good way, So let's get into the matches for Dynamite tonight and a couple other tidbits that I put up together. Oh, and shout out to AS7607. So nice to hear that you're doing better. I know some of you out there already know this, but about 3 or 4 weeks ago while we were doing the show live, she was in a hospital with COVID symptoms, listening to the show, worried in the hospital that she might have COVID, and she got hit with COVID. So, I know a lot of you out there were sending prayers and thoughts to AS7607. That's obviously not her real name. But she is doing well now, and much love to all of you out there that have battled COVID, had family members or friends that battled COVID, that lost people to COVID, or even some of you out there that are, getting the vaccine and maybe a little bit of nervousness. I'm fully vaccinated since the middle of February. I think I was the first podcaster to be vaccinated. So thank God I really, other than, the first shot, a little flu, well, not really flu, fever, chills, cold for a couple of hours. But you know what? I'd rather get that for a couple of hours than get the virus. So, but glad to see that, AS. And yeah, Alexis, I wasn't going to piss anybody off tonight. I'm not playing the videos. But like I said, if any of you want to go on my Twitter, at DonTonyD, you will see I hit a jackpot for $1,300. I didn't put up 2 other videos. I hit 2 other little jackpots, 180 and I think 380. And then I was going home Monday afternoon. And and look, this is the reason why there was no show Monday. Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we were going to start getting ready to go home. And I was going to come back to New York 5, 6 o'clock and do the show Monday night. I said, let's play for a little bit longer. And I went on the Wheel of Fortune wheel, and the jackpot prize on the wheel, the biggest prize was $2,000. And you played quarters. So I bet double. So whatever jackpot I would hit on the wheel, I'd get twice. And what fucking happens, and I put it on video so you would not think it's a lie, the freaking thing hits 2,000. And since I bet double, I got 4,000 quarters, which was $1,000. They gave me a free extra night in a suite. Like, fuck it, man. We eating steak. We stood there an extra night. So, oh, man, haters hate that shit. But it's all good. It's all good because I put some of it back in the show. Oh, our members here on YouTube that have the channel memberships, we are doing a separate WrestleMania predictions contest. I will put something up on Friday, all the details. I already alerted you also. But anyway, let's get into Dynamite. Let's talk a little bit further. Opening match, Hangman Page defeating Max Caster. Fun match. Anthony Bowens comes out, starts name dropping. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video of Joe Biden climbing up the stairs to get onto Air Force One and tripped like 3 times. Then somebody made a video and put like Trump hitting a golf ball, and the ball, they spliced it in and it looks like hit Biden in the head 3 times. Look, I didn't vote for Trump last year. I didn't vote for Biden either. I honestly could care less about our government. I just want to have fun, enjoy myself personally with all of you, everything I do, and that's it. I could care less what happens. Seriously, because nothing I do is going to change this country. But what I can do can change my surroundings. That's what I concern myself about. But, Anthony Bowens tonight bringing up that video, talking about how Adam Hangman Page has, fallen, on the... Now, look, his rap was hilarious, talking about Naz's ex. I think he did also. But, when you're doing that video, trying to give saying that Hangman Page, look at you now, compared to 6 months ago or a year ago when you were a big star. You know how stupid that sounds when you have the announcer saying, they're fighting to be who's ranked number 1. Just think about that for a minute. One segment, you're doing a rap that's hilarious, putting down Hangman Page, but in actuality, he's fighting for the number 1 position. I like the Acclaimed. I know when they first came in, people thought it was low budget, thugonomics, outdated. That's what was good about it. It's outdated. He is actually smooth with his raps, but it's so outdated, some of it, that it's like stuff that you and I would do. You're hanging out with your friends in the park, and you want to just start putting down each other. You're like, your mom's a tramp. She's a $5 hoe. I think you need to get some scissors and start to mow. I'm not going to start throwing lyrics out here right now. You give me a subject, I'll do it. But it's supposed to be goofy. It's supposed to be goofy. Or you do what, us older white people used to do back in the day. My name is John. I'm here to say that it's going to be a wonderful day. Put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like me, and you go on, I have no underwear. Oh, yeah. That's what you get all the time. Or you go to a wedding. I said a hip, the hop, the hippie, the hip, hip, hop. You don't stop. Rock it to the bang, to the boogie, to up to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat. That's what the Acclaim is supposed to be. Just, I hate using this term, but on steroids. Fun match. The ending was a little sloppy. The one thing I did not like, Max Caster is given a chain from Anthony Bowens. What was this? What's that candy? Someone in the chat room definitely knows this one, because some of you are as old as I am. What's that candy that we used to eat long time ago that it looked like a chain, and it was just sugar? And you would have, you could wear it around your neck. I mean, this is a real chain, but you could wear it around your neck, and it would just be Smarties. Could be Smarties. I don't remember what it was. But what was this chain made out of Smarties? Come on. In the history of wrestling, if someone wraps a chain, a metal chain around their hand, if they wind up, here's the pitch, and flush on the face for a 2 count. Come on, man. Seriously. Candy necklace? You know what, Austin? I think you're right. I think it was a candy necklace. I think that's what it was. I think you could even go to the candy store and you would be able to buy the white string. Now it's starting to flare. How many of you remember that? The white string, and you would put candies on it, and you could make the chain as much as you want. You just had to pay for it. What was this chain made out of Smarties? Come on. I could see if you wrap the chain around your hand and you go to hit him and Adam Hangman Page ducks. But, I mean, he just square in the face, boom, with the chain, 2 count. Stupid, man. And then Hangman Page is going for the buckshot lariat. Anthony Bowens grabs his leg. So Hangman Page decides to do a moonsault and really didn't even connect, but then hits the buckshot lariat for the win. So Hangman Page, I guess they're going to lead to Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega. That's what it feels like. Oh, VJ, everyone out there, you got to allow me to do something for a minute. I think you'll appreciate this. First off, let me just read. It's a little video clip. You'll get a kick out of it, everybody. First off, VJ says, would AEW be further ahead if they have real executives instead of wannabes like Brandy and the Young Bucks' wives? And thank you for the kind words, my friend. First of all, look, I understand early on when Brandy was with Awesome Kong and they were doing those segments where she was in front of the mirror with 1,000 candles and she's wearing black and negligee and it looked like a bit like one of those bad porns that happens in a funeral home. It seemed like she was auditioning for acting jobs. But I will say this, Brandy Rhodes truly works her ass off behind the scenes. The Young Bucks' wives, I don't know them personally, and maybe they do have a higher position than if they were working for somewhere else, but I hear nothing but good things as far as the hard work that everybody does behind the scenes. So, yeah, it could be very easy for me to just crack jokes about them, but to be honest with you, they work really hard. I really can't criticize them, but I don't think you have your fair share of people behind the scenes really being constructive catalysts. A lot of yes men. Jericho, as much as I love Jericho, and tonight he nailed it with that promo. And by the way, as far as his appearance on the Smoking Skull sessions, I know it's very controversial, but this is something more for Peacock than anything else. So when you do $1 billion deal, WWE does $1 billion deal with Peacock, and, you know, Steve Austin comes up with the idea for Little Buzz, let's get Jericho. You know, Peacock says, yeah, let's get Jericho. You know, WWE's really does not have leverage. You know, are they going to advertise it other than social media? Probably not. So I don't have any issue with it. I think Jericho's appearance shows that WWE's not going to lose any viewers simply because Jericho's on a smoking skull session. You know, some people out there might, you know, that don't follow AEW may be like, holy shit, Jericho, I haven't heard about him. There are people out there like that. Not everybody's on social media. So I don't really have a problem with it. I actually am very happy to see that happen. You know, there's no, and trust me, I could predict this, and I know all of you will as well. Jericho's not going to go up there and start disrespecting WWE. The man is a consummate professional. Yes, he plays along on social media and he trolls sometimes, but at the end of the day, don't expect crazy controversy coming out of that interview. You're going to hear some things mentioned here and there, but it's not going to really be much. It's going to remind me a little bit when they discussed TNA with AJ Styles a little bit. You know, difference is obviously AJ Styles was now a part of the WWE family, not the reverse. I don't think it's as big of a deal as it comes across, but trust me, you know, it creates a buzz, and that's what everybody wanted. So now I want to thank VJ because this warmed my heart. Because even though this guy is not like a major star, anybody that remembers when Gilbert had a heart attack, you know, and people remember when Drew McIntyre, they had the thing in the ring with Drew and Gilbert and everything, and people were ripping the shit about Gilbert, but they didn't even know that the guy just had a heart attack. And I thought looked awesome for a man that just had a heart attack. And I love the fact that the guy is having fun, and I praised the shit out of him on this show. Trust me, VJ didn't wake up and just decide to do this.
Happy birthday.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
Said a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you! What's up, man, Don Tony? How you doing, brother, man? Joe Boy Gilbert here. How's it going, brother, man? How's it going? So I understand you got a birthday just recently, huh? That's awesome, man. So, I understand you got your own YouTube show called The Don Tony Show. Is that true? Hey, man, I'm going to have to check that out to see what it's all about, man, because somebody really likes it. Wanted me to wish you a happy birthday, brother? That's old VJ. I don't know who VJ is, but he wanted me to wish you a very happy birthday, man. Said that you got an awesome show. You do it almost every single day, and that he loves it, man, and he watches it all the time. So, bro, from VJ and the Gilbert, happy birthday, brother, man!
Come on, you can't help but smile at that, man. Trust me, if I fucking had a heart attack, look at the people out there that are apparently in great health, and they could use a little bit of that. So VJ, thank you. That was awesome, man. He got a cameo for me, and that was great. I wanted to share with everyone. So, one other comment. Hold on. Harris B. Who would I have be the head booker of AEW? Oh, you know, that is such a hard call, man, because, you know, Jericho has a lot of influence, you know, but what I was getting to before is, you remember those interviews last year where Jericho was talking about how the referees need to tighten up a little bit. And he also addressed the Lucha Bros, how they weren't following, you know, the rules as tight, and they were just doing whatever they want. Then he also talked about a lot of wrestlers not even knowing where the hard camera was or the red light. If you've noticed, a lot of that criticism has gone bye-bye. It's gone bye-bye. You really don't hear that specific stuff. And of course not. When Tony Khan is paying your salary, You are not going to rock the boat. Even Jericho's not going to rock the boat. It's kind of stupid for anybody to do that, but you noticed a lot of that specific criticism has gone away. You're watching, this stuff tonight. Oh, wait till we get to fucking not Bear Country and not Bathroom. I combined the two. It's Bathroom Break. That match with the freaking Jurassic Express. Godzilla versus I thought they were going to actually dress up. What was about that match? It was Godzilla because they were big. I'm going to burp. Got me so mad. All right. After Hangman Page and Max Caster, Shivani brings out the Death Triangle. And, we got the Lucha Bros. We got Pac. They're getting, Ray Phoenix and Pac are getting a tag team title shot against the Young Bucks. Okay, fine. I'm still trying to figure out, are they heels or are they baby faces? I know what you're going to say, they're heels. But sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Especially after tonight, where the Young Bucks apparently turned heel and joined up with the Elite. So, Tony Schiavone and again, like I've been bringing up, when everything is a clusterfuck, nothing is a clusterfuck. It's almost like the days of one-on-one with no one else out there, that's rare. Like a cage match is supposed to be rare. A Falls Count Anywhere match is supposed to be rare. Gimmick matches are supposed to be rare. Now, a straight up one-on-one match in AEW with no interference and no one around ringside is now the rarity. And that's a problem. Because we all like, and I brought this up before, we all like car accidents. I mean, we don't all like car accidents. Look, I'm still paying the price of a car accident from 96. My point is, if you're home and you turn on the news or you're changing the channels and you see camera from a helicopter and there's a police chase, how many of you out there, even if you only have 5 minutes left on your lunch break, you're like, And you sit there hoping that the car crashes or some crazy shit goes down. You can't turn away. You see dumb shit going down, a dumb fight in a supermarket or drunk people doing dumb things. You can't turn away. You got to watch the clusterfuck. This is what a lot of this is. You can't turn away. Best friends interrupt. All right, I understand. A member of Best Friends, hasn't been around for a little while. Trent Beretta, he's back from injury, blah, 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 blah. Chris Statlander, she looked like a potted plant. She looked so out of place there. I mean, and it's funny because it looked like she was social distancing as well. It's like you got Best Friends and the Alien. Because now you realize, as much as they wanted Statlander to go after Penelope Ford, and by the way, what the fuck happened with Penelope Ford and Miro and Kip Sabian? Why isn't Penelope Ford in storyline today trying to get at? You see where I'm going with this? Now you put Statlander out there, and we're looking at she doesn't seem to fit in with this. What are we going to see? Segments with Orange Cassidy and Statlander? It just feels like a mess. So what happens? The Best Friends say, "Oh, you're not worthy of tag team title shot. We have more wins and it leads to nowhere. It leads to nowhere." Kevin Milwaukee. Do not misconstrue. Chris Statlander. I almost said Kevin Statlander. I know someone with a similar name. Not podcast or anything like that. I don't want any controversy. But Chris Statlander is talented. She needs a little more seasoning. I mean, we remember that infamous clip where she kicked nobody around the ringside and then she just did a move with nobody around. Remember that? That was when fans were still in attendance. I don't know if she was fighting Nyla Rose or something, but I mean, she just has to put a little bit more together, but she is definitely a talented star. She's a star in the making. She just needs more seasoning. Absolutely. What's up, Extreme? But little roll call. Extreme, Keyvon Lewis, Neil Ray, Kevin Milwaukee, Big T, Lone Wolf, Harris B, everybody tuning in. Much love. Thank you for enjoying the show. I will admit I'm a little disappointed. I thought that more of you would have smashed that little blue thumb thing. I guess it's called a like. I'm joking. I don't want to force you to do anything. So the best friends come out, and I'm watching it, and again, what happened to Penelope Ford? Where is that? Went nowhere. Went absolutely nowhere. This is what happens when you want to put 40 people on TV. And then the next week comes and you realize, oh shit, we got 5 people with 5 other people. Now we got to do this, but we can't do this, and we got to do this. I mean, nothing against Britt Baker, but was it necessary for her to cut a promo just to say that the ranking system sucks and she deserves a title shot? Put that on a Twitter video. Put that on Dark. Put it on Elevation. Put it everywhere else. Don't eat up 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 2 minutes here, a minute here. We get a little backstage segment. Mike Tyson is talking to the Jacksonville Jaguars coach, Urban Meyer. Jericho comes out with the Inner Circle. And Jericho, look, I love Jericho. Guy could do virtually no wrong. For all the years he's entertained me as a wrestling fan, you know, if the best that some people could do is that he's got a little bit of a gut now, I don't give a shit. Guy still shows why he can go. He's in the twilight of his career. Of course, he should not be doing stuff that he did even 10 years ago. But he goes out there with the Inner Circle, cuts a promo. They lost their vision the last 6 months. They've been derailed. He keeps calling MJF a jerk off, which I love because I always use jerk off. I try to not use so much vulgarity on the shows, but he keeps calling MJF a jerk off. And it was funny because I thought my speaker was going in and out a little bit. And then I realized it's TNT trying to hit the censor button a little bit. Because, you know, he said shit a couple of times, jerk off. I mean, he was putting down MJF. He just, one by one, just totally belittled every member of the Pinnacle. He talked about Tully Blanchard being like the third-rate member of the Horsemen, which, you know, it's not true, but it's still funny the way Jericho portrayed it. Said that MJF, you know, people use the term Mark, but he's going to replace it with Max. So he's a Max. He's a jerk-off. Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, thinks he's better than what he is, but he's not. Then he talks about FTR, Sean Spears. I thought he was going to go a little bit deeper with Sean Spears, but only brings up like 10 years ago when he lost his job at the Fed that he was trying to get advice from Jericho. But Jericho just nailed it. And I tell you, Jericho gets intense with his promos. I mean, he cut some real good ones with the feud with Orange Cassidy. He cut some great ones while he was champion. By the way, the little teaser, I'll tell you, this is pretty interesting. There's a little teaser floating around of Jericho and Steve Austin, Smoking Skull, that we talked about earlier. And Steve Austin does a little quick rapid fire with Chris Jericho. And he asks Chris Jericho, pick 2 of your favorite tag team partners. And Jericho, he picked Sammy Guevara. Who was the other person he picked? Did he pick Big Show? I don't remember if he picked Big Show. I know he said as far as opponents, he chose Kevin Owens and others. I thought he was going to choose Lance Storm. I mean, I know he wasn't doing number 1 and 2 on his list, but I thought it was pretty, it was Big Show. Thank you, Psycho and Extreme. But it was cool to hear him say Guevara. That's pretty cool. I think Guevara should be really, you know, proud of that. But Jericho, the intensity, And the cool thing about Jericho is, even when he gets intense, he is focused, laser focused on just dissecting people and just verbally ripping them to pieces. And he just destroyed the Pinnacle verbally. In his promo, he challenges them on May 5th to a blood and guts match. Now, look, that date is very random. May 5th is 4 Wednesdays from now. So, we're going to have a 4-week build-up to this. So what matches do we get in the meantime? I have no idea, other than the one that they announced next week. I'll get to that in a minute. So we got the match announced, Blood and Guts, Pinnacle versus Inner Circle, May 5th. Fine with it. After that, we have Christian Cage interviewed in the back, looked like got a little bit of hair color. And Dasha is, he's recapping last week and giving praise to Frankie Kazarian. And he said this was the culmination of, returning in 7 years that he lost. And talk about random. Taz comes out. Join Team Taz. Think about it. Seriously? I mean, that's not going anywhere. So Christian is going to be wrestling against a member of Team Taz. If you ask me, it might be Ricky Starks. I don't know. But it just felt so random, But look, again, nice to see Christian back. He's not the focal point. You realize that he's now there 3 or 4 weeks already. Just one match. Remember, outwork everyone. I know we're not going to take it literally, but when you have a shirt like that, and AEW is only going to put him in the ring once every 4 or 5 weeks, that's not necessarily considered. That's more like part-time work, everyone. That's what that looks like to me. Now we get the clusterfuck. Bear Throom Break, Bear Country versus Jurassic Express. I don't even know where to go with this one. I think Bear Country down the line could definitely put it together. One of them thinks he's Rhino. If you look at it closely, I mean, don't get me wrong. Somebody that size, paying tribute to Rhino and kind of mirroring some of his moves is nice. The problem is when you're doing it with someone like Luchasaurus, who's bigger than you, it turns into a mess very quickly. When you do it against someone as small as Jungle Boy, who is not extremely polished yet because his career is so young still, it's probably not the right mixture. And that's why when Jim Ross said that this match at times was bowling shoe ugly, he was not joking. There were points in this match that if you go back and you watch it, especially towards the end, I think it was Bronson. He took a DDT from Jungle Boy. And if you go back and watch it again, Jungle Boy was outside the ring, got in, hit the DDT. Bronson literally turns around, puts his head down, and he's waiting for Jungle Boy to give him the DDT. And I'm not going to criticize live fans because I know how much COVID has sucked for everybody. It may not seem like it sucked for me all that much, but trust me, it really, really has hurt me financially, emotionally. I should have been married by now. A lot of things have fucked up. So being able to go to an AEW show and you be careful, or going to WrestleMania and you be careful, I'm not going to find fault in anybody out there. But when I saw that garbage, and then immediately after that, this is awesome. I'm like, is there something going on off camera that I'm not seeing? It was really, not very good at all. It was a mess. And the reason why it really was a mess, look, there was spots in the match that were great. The problem is that when you do one great move and then there's three hot mess moves, there's a reason why they should be on Dark or Elevation at minimum for the foreseeable future. I mean, they were trying to do power moves on Luchasaurus, and you're watching them set each other up. There was even one point where one of the members of Bear Country puts the other member on his shoulders, about to execute something on Luchasaurus, but then Jungle Boy hits the ring, and they're just standing in the middle of the ring, and I thought we were going to have chicken fights. And if anybody remembers ECW, do you remember the infamous chicken fight? In fact, free t-shirt, any choice, AEW, WWE, NXT, my shows, rival podcasts, I don't care. Who remembers the 4 participants in the ECW chicken fight that lasted for about 15 seconds? I will give you a hint. One of those 4 currently wrestles in WWE, is without a doubt a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest high flyers of all time. Somebody has to remember. No. So yeah, it was a chicken fight. It was a match that turned into a chicken fight. Oh, yes, VJ got it. Motherfucker. I knew I was going to be paying you back for the Gilbert video. VJ, you know what to do. Yeah, Rey Mysterio went on the shoulders of 911 and did a chicken fight with the Eliminators. No joke. I thought we were getting a chicken fight. And I'm saying to myself, in storyline, drop your motherfucking opponent, your partner. Just go on your knees. Instead, they're standing there like, like that stupid sound like Scooby-Doo. It was such a mess, man. Horrendous. But in the end, Jurassic Express gets the win. Luchasaurus with the choke slam and the moonsault, and it was what it was. I mean, look, everybody loves Jungle Boy's music. I said 2 months ago it was going to be the new Fandango tune, and it is. But this match was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. And go figure, right after that hot mess, we get QT Marshall. Who dat? In the school. And you know what I love about it? Okay, I have nothing against the guy personally, but you know my views on QT Marshall. Who dat? Not only does he do a segment talking about, the Nightmare Family and they dump paint on the wall. Not for nothing, when you dump paint on a Nightmare Family wall 24 hours or so after the Miz and Morrison drop red paint on a $3 million car, you should have probably thought about something else. But the thing that got me laughing tonight is you have Who Dat talking about what happened last week. And he's putting over his students. Look, if we get some of these students that could become stars, I'm fine with it. But that shit should be going down on Dark and Elevation. All right? As they're doing this segment, did you see that? They put a close-up on QT, like he had, like just a pose. And he's like perfectly groomed, and his hair is perfectly styled, and he's got no shirt, and his makeup is perfect. And they have the close-up on him, and it's one of these. Like he's supposed to be this mega superstar. I laughed. I mean, Tony Khan, God bless you, man, putting this guy over. He works his ass off behind the scenes. I will not take anything away from QT Marshall. That man probably is, other than Tony Khan, the hardest working man in AEW. Doesn't mean we want to see him on the TV screen. That is just awful. Oh, good. A go-go. A-Go-Go is going to debut next week. Ah! I hope that fucking rating drops 100,000 viewers. And then I want to see the excuses people make. Oh, man. And again, it's nothing personal, but what's the storyline? And where did Cody go? And where did Dustin go? They're all active on social media all week. This is not the end. It's a mess, man. It's a freaking hot mess. Nick Camarado's part of that as well. I like Nick Camarado. I absolutely like him. But this just is a hot mess. Like I said, too many factions. Too many chefs. They're spoiling the soup. We got factions everywhere. Seriously. I think there's more... I'm not going to go there. I think there's more people that were on AEW the last 2 weeks than people who've crossed the border illegally. I know it's stupid, but that was dumb. That was not rehearsed. Forget it. Scratch it. Then we get the goofy shit with Sting and Lance Archer, as I said earlier. Sting comes out. He's going to be interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Why, I have no idea. I thought it was a running joke. We see on it next. Sting speaks. He speaks. Okay, comes out, says nothing right away. Lance Archer comes out. This should be my time. And then Sting doing his Tony Robbins, as I said earlier. You are one of the top stars. You are, without a doubt. You should be. And one day you're going to be heavyweight champion and go out there and take it and take it. And Lance Archer just laughs and runs away. The ice cream man was outside. Don't leave. I want a bomb pop. I mean, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Darby Allin's going to have a match next with J.D. Drake. So I'm thinking, okay, Lance Archer's been pissed off about TV time. Jake the Snake Roberts is telling off Sting, as Jake could do. And then they storm off. And I'm like, wow, Sting is either the ultimate motivational speaker or Lance Archer is going to cash in a little bit later. Darby Allin has his match with J.D. Drake. Darby retains the TNT Championship. Do we get Lance Archer to come out? Nope. Whatever Sting said was enough. That's it. I'm good. That's enough for me. So stupid. Now, getting back to Darby Allin and J.D. Drake. I think J.D. Drake is decent. I saw him in Evolve probably more than anything else. He had a match in NXT last year. I remember somebody mentioning his name. I don't know why. He's not bad. But if you watch that match tonight on TV, J.D. Drake maybe should wear a mask. And I know that would look stupid on him. But this guy talked on the hard camera so many times to Darby Allin. Hit me. Go back and look at it. Just focus on J.D. Drake. If they should have wrestlers court backstage and they should fine him $100 every time he got caught on camera tonight, hit me in the face. Reverse. This motherfucker kept talking over and over and over again. I mean, if you're going to do it with the camera right in front of you, at least try to cover it up. At least yell out, "This is your TV champion." Hit me. You try to shut up, everybody. Reverse. Try to change. I'm watching it, and Darby Allin is and J.D. Drake with his lips moving. I didn't like it at all. I don't even think you could blame it on nerves. Guy has wrestled for AEW Dark before, and he's not a bad wrestler. But I'm watching this, and I'm saying to myself, not for nothing, but unless this guy comes back with a mask over his head, I would not put him back on Dynamite again anytime soon. Match was okay. Went a lot longer than I thought it was going to go, but him right with the camera in his face, talking repeatedly, little things like that should not be tolerated, So Darby Allin with the coffin drop gets the win, and then that awful shit. If you missed the beginning of the show, I will repeat it again. I beg you. I never beg. Well, I beg for, hit the like button, but I beg you, go back and watch it. Sting is out there for Darby's match. Nice. Okay. No problem with that. Right after the match is over, Butcher and the Blade come out. start beating down on Darby Allin. The bunny goes to the announcer's table like she wants to use the tables as a weapon. What are you, nuts? Butcher and the Blade. Sting gets the bat, the nuclear bat, and he's going to chase them away. Dark Order comes out as well because, remember, this is Matt Hardy's crew. Matt wants Darby Allin. Matt hates the Dark Order. The Dark Order hate Matt. Another 14 people around ringside, you know. But the worst part about it is, go back and watch. You have Sting, center rampway. You have an exit on the left, my left, or an exit on the right, which would be your left. And Sting starts drifting to the left side of your screen with the bat. Now I'm thinking like, okay, who's he going to use the bat on? So the Butcher and the Blade get chased off from the Dark Order. And Sting is literally just standing by the entranceway, and here comes the Butcher. He like, get out of my way. Just walks right past him. I'm like, this is what I talked about a long time ago with Vladimir Kozlov and not having ring presence. He was feuding big time with Triple H, and he had a match where he got eliminated, and he walked right past Triple H. And it just looks so horrendous on television. Walk to the other fucking side of the ring. If you see the person that you're supposed to be trying to take out, and you're going to cross paths, and that person's not going to hit you and you're not going to hit him, figure out a way to go the opposite way. It was so bad. Then Ty Conti comes out and starts brawling with the bunny. So I think, oh, coming back to commercial break, they're going to have a match. No, instead, we get the Tyson, Jericho, Pinnacle stuff. Why would you have Ty Conti and the bunny brawling around ringside and not go right to that match? Continue. I know it's not TNA, but total nonstop action. No, the fight stops. Commercial break. Enough. Jericho is being interviewed by Marvez, gets attacked by the Pinnacle. They bring him to ringside. Apparently, the Inner Circle got locked inside their dressing room. Now, the funny thing about it was, if you've ever seen, like, The Shining, here's Johnny, or anybody who has ever, like, busted a door open because they were locked from the outside, I guess they used a sledgehammer or axe or something to break the door open so they could get freed up. The fucking hole, you know, if you're, like, running out of a burning building and you break a hole open on your door, as soon as the door is big enough to fit my fat stomach, I'm out that door. No, they just keep banging it and banging it. No, we need it big enough for Andre the Giant to go through. I mean, it's just banging and banging and banging. So they're trying to get to Jericho to help him. And here comes Tyson's music. Tyson comes out. No yawning this time. I don't think he smoked before the show. But he comes out, he rips his shirt off, you know, he's got a pose. And you know he's not going to attack Jericho this time around. And he starts getting into it with the Pinnacle. Poor Sean Spears gets in the corner. And no, I'm not tired, Sam. I was making fun of Mike Tyson when he yawned last time. I wouldn't be disrespectful and yawn in your faces like that unless I apologized. But if you looked at it closely, when Tyson was throwing the punches to Sean Spears, I mean, it reminded me when I was 6 years old and my grandfather used to come over and be like, "Come here, you." That's what it looked like. You ever have like an uncle or a grandfather when you were a kid? And for some reason, like, instead of just giving you a hug or a high five or just like, you know, hey, fist bump. No. Come here, you. Hey. That's what that's what Tyson looked like tonight with Shawn Spears. I mean, he's trying to physically get involved, but obviously he could legitimately hurt somebody. Guy could still do it. I fucking love Mike Tyson. I know some of his behavior in the past is horrendous, but I think he has proven that he has learned from that and become a better person. So I believe in redemption. I believe in people changing. But, the segment was okay. Jericho, Tyson shake hands, Jericho thanking Tyson. So we find out next week that Dax is going to take on Jericho in a match. Cash will be in Dax's corner. Sammy Guevara will be in Jericho's corner. And Mike Tyson will be the special guest referee. I'm cool with that. If anybody tuned into the show I did yesterday, I thought it was pretty stupid on AEW's part to bring Tyson in the week before they go unopposed. You would think for the first show unopposed, that's when you have more eyes, NXT viewers that don't have NXT next Wednesday, you would have more eyes on your product. Holy shit, Tyson's going to be on next week. And I said yesterday, it would be stupid for them to bring in Tyson this week unless they're bringing him back next week. Sure enough, that's what they're doing. Tyson will be there next week. He will be the special ring enforcer. Yes, I know people are going to have memories of, Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin. But so what? I have no problem with it. So that's what we got. Britt Baker cutting a promo, as we talked about earlier. Ty Conti beating the bunny. And once again, I'm sorry for repeating myself week after week after week. Once again, they just add on to what I consider the worst women's championship reign in recent memory. I will repeat, Hikaru Shida is the most talented female wrestler on AEW's roster. Thunder Rosa might be a close second. Hikaru Shida is awesome. And if you think that I'm way off on this, just do a Google search, look at her matches for the last 6 months, 8 months. Look at her one-on-one matches. She's done next to nothing. It is a horrendous title reign. And you know where they're going. We talked about it for 2-3 weeks straight. They want to do Ty Conti versus Hikaru Shida. So right now, Hikaru Shida, she kind of helped Ty Conti win today because the bunny wanted to use this kendo stick. Hikaru Shida grabs it away, and this allows Ty Conti to hit a finisher on the bunny and get the win, the superplex. So that's where they're going with this. But Hikaru Shida's title reign, it's not her fault. She's healthy. She can go. I mean, she did have some injury for a short period of time. But every week, they're pulling this stuff. It is a horrendous title run. It's stale. I agree with you, Extreme. It is stale. And all this hype of Ty Conti versus the bunny, it's nothing against either woman. But look at this roster. And this is the best you could do? Even last week? I mean, they had that, you know what it reminds me of? Ooh, this is such a bad analogy. But I think guys will agree with, wow, this is a weird analogy. Why would I think of this? It's like having sex, especially for a guy. Doesn't matter if it's a female, male, plastic. Guy has sex, and they finish, to say it nicely. Once they finish, they don't want to be bothered for a few hours. Look, something's resting right now. By the way, I thought it was funny when Jericho said that Wardlow has to go naked so he could count to 21. I don't know if anybody caught that, which was pretty funny. But, you finish, look, he's sleeping right now. Leave me alone for color. It's like after Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa had that incredible hardcore match, it's like AEW had their orgasm. And it takes a little while to get back in the mood and reinvigorate to go at it again. Doesn't it feel that way? It's like, come on, how many of you out there, especially guys, more than anything else, we don't have that luxury of over and over and over again, like the ladies out there. But for guys, I'm trying to be mild with this. You finish for the next few hours, maybe I'll cuddle at the belt. I'm not continuing. No, I'm saying I'm done. I have something on the stove I got to take. That's it. You're finished. This is what it feels like. AEW had their orgasm. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. Okay, so now we're not ready yet. It's still sleeping. We're not ready to do it yet. Am I wrong? Why are they wasting weeks with this? Could it be? They want Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker to stand out so much with that match that they're not allowing anybody to have an opportunity to shine where all the focus now goes on someone else. No, we got to have Ty Conti with a bunny. And we have to have a kendo stick that's not actually used and have one of the top women in wrestling just standing outside. You won! Oh, Ty, you won! Doesn't it feel that way? I don't know. So, Ty Conti wins. And Hikaru Shida, for some reason, is ecstatic about it. So next week, Anthony Ogogo. Hit me up before you Ogogo. It's Wake Me Up. That's right. Or maybe, maybe I should do a spoof of that Wham song. Wake me up after Ogogo. Yeah, wake me up after Ogogo. And I hope he returns to solo. Wake me up after Ogogo. So Anthony Ogogo debuts next week. Neil Ray is asking, can I do Super Chats? I absolutely can do Super Chats. Sure I can. Yeah, we'll do that. Shout out to VJ the Man. AEW needs help ASAP. Look, they have great stars there. I don't know. There's something strange going on with that relationship at TNT. Did you see, and I know we're going a little back and forth, but did you see that little comment that Tony Khan gave to PW Spyware where there was something floating around that TNT doesn't like surprises. They want fans to know in advance so more people tune in, this and that. And then Tony Khan, it was so weird. There's so much bullshit news that floats around every week. We talk about it all the time. And you would think, Tony Khan would just, that's more bullshit news. But for some reason, he went out of his way to dispel that one. And it's like, whenever there's something involving TNT with AEW, no, not true. That's not necessarily true. I thought that was a little bit interesting, man. I thought that was interesting. But it does feel that way. Doesn't it feel that way that TNT kind of has AEW by the you-know-whats? Because, again, they're putting matches on regular TV that should be built for pay-per-view. And you're looking at it, you're saying to yourself, okay, what are they going to do on pay-per-view? Where are they going with this? Who is Moxley going to align himself with now? Hangman Page? His partner with broken foot, Eddie Kingston? It just, some of this if you're going to do anything, maybe you have Moxley more with Hangman Page now, or Eddie Kingston, or someone else. Then you build to the Young Bucks and Moxley versus the Good Brothers and Omega on a pay-per-view. It just feels like AEW has a little bit of an issue with TNT, where they have to put on these high-profile names and matches. I don't know if anybody's starting to feel, but it does feel that way. Shout out to Near. Vacation was good. Nice relaxation. But I am back, so now the focus is, having great shows and hanging out with all of you out there. So, it was fun while it lasted, and I'm missing it already. Somebody asked me earlier. Okay, I got that in a second. Hottest mom, Judy Bagwell, Sue, or Shelton Benjamin's mom? That's so wrong, man. BJ, that is so wrong. Shelton Benjamin's mom I liked. She was a little annoying on TV, but she's one of those that if I was going to school and I came home, Ma, these kids were bullying me, like she'd take off that shoe. You son of a bitch. Like she would back me up. I think, seriously, if I got bullied in school, this is what I think would happen. I think Judy Bagwell, I don't know. She would probably let's put like the answer on a forklift or something. Like she wouldn't have a clue. She's just clueless. Or you know what Judy Bagwell would say? I just figured it out. Judy Bagwell would say, you know what? I know how we can fix that problem with school. I'll call in sick. I can't call. Remember Buff Bagwell that he didn't show up? Yeah, Judy Bagwell would just make me stay home. That's how she would solve the problem. I think Sue, best friend Sue with the caravan, I think she would not even address the problem. She'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let's go to Friendly's and get a sundae. Let's go in the caravan and go get Friendly's. Like she wouldn't solve it. I think Shelton Benjamin's mother would beat the shit out of all of them. So that's how I will answer that. And Ryan Schonscheck, my current favorite wrestler. Well, in NXT, my favorite wrestler right now is Dexter Lumis. And yes, WWE seems to be, I don't know what the hell they're doing with Dexter Lumis. I mean, ever since he was the host of TakeOver and all he did was draw, I'm saying to myself, what have they done with this guy? I mean, I want to see Dexter Lumis get a push. And look, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm happy for Bronson Reed. But man, you look at the storyline with Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano, and the fact that Gargano set up his friend, paying off the doctor, the psychologist, and there's no payback for that. It's all over the place. But I'll still go with Dexter Lumis. On AEW right now, my favorite wrestler is Lance Archer. It's been Lance Archer for a while. And, I am extremely frustrated with what AEW is doing right now because I just don't see any payoff to it. I mean, he could cut a shoot work promo all he wants on TV. Doesn't fix the problem. I was here and you brought me to the top and then I left. And then you brought me back and then I left. And what does that do? Just because you talk about it, it's not fixing the problem. So those are my two favorites. As far as WWE programming goes, man, it's really, really difficult to pick somebody. On Raw right now, it's probably Bobby Lashley. I'm really enjoying his work quite a bit. Absolutely enjoying it very much. On SmackDown, I have been huge with Kevin Owens for a while. Roman Reigns has done phenomenal too. We're in a weird era because there aren't a lot of individual names that just stood out. Like I remember back in ECW towards its latter years and the last year that they were in existence when I worked for them a little bit. I can't tell you how many people went to ECW just because they wanted to see Rob Van Dam. Like, there were points where you would have people that would want to go. I mean, even WWE, people back in the day wanted to see Steve Austin, wanted to see The Rock. Even in WCW, you'd have some wrestlers like that as well. Today, it's a little bit different. You need a bunch. You don't have that individual. If Bray Wyatt was featured more on television, I probably would go with The Fiend or Bray Wyatt. So, believe it or not, I'm enjoying a lot of Seth Rollins' work. I know a lot of you out there like, bastard. I don't know. Seth Rollins right now, either people absolutely love his trolling and his work or they absolutely hate it. There's no middle ground. So next week, we got Anthony Ogogo having his debut. Red will take on Shane Cargill. Darby Allin will face Matt Hardy for the TNT title. Falls count anywhere, which means you will have the Dark Order get involved. You will have the Butcher and the Blade get involved. You might have Ty Conti and the Bunny get involved. You will have a boatload of people get involved. Not going to rip it, but expect, once again, clusterfuck. Young Bucks versus Pac and Ray Phoenix for the tag titles. All right, that's kind of nice and everything, but it just feels thrown out of nowhere, especially after what they did tonight with the Young Bucks. Does anybody feel like this is the time to take the titles off of them? It just feels like, what it feels like? We need to put something out there. So let's just throw this title match out there. It just feels thrown together. Even though Phoenix and Pac earned that shot, this just feels thrown together. Oh, let's just do it next week. Mystery man Seth Drippin' Rollins. Believe it or not, I said this yesterday. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro is one of my top 3 matches I'm looking forward to at Mania. It's just something tells me they are going to maybe not completely steal the show, but they are going to have a pretty damn good performance. So put the titles on Jurassic Express. What titles? Seriously. I like Jungle Boy and I like Luchasaurus. But I don't know what AEW is trying to do with them. I know they want to try to elevate Bad Country, but my God, how's about trying to fix Team Taz? Another backstage segment, and they're now talking about matches they won on Dark? What's next? They're going to be on Dark and they're going to talk about matches they won in other promotions? It's going ass backwards. And as I said, Dax with Cash in his corner versus Jericho with Sammy in his corner. Tyson will be the special guest enforcer next week. So now the main event. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks. Now, it's funny because someone gave me props earlier today, like, oh, DT, you called it. I'm like, called what? And I said last week that the Young Bucks would turn on Moxley. I don't necessarily look at that way tonight because the way it played out on camera, they tried to be a little extra cute with it. Excellent match, a lot of fun. We've seen variations of Kenny Omega and Moxley brawling, so we know what we're getting there. The Good Brothers, we already know what we get there, and they work well with the Young Bucks, without a doubt. And, the match was fine. But we started getting the Cody goofiness once again. And I'm not criticizing Cody, but that storyline did not work last week with Cody not wanting to do certain moves. And just think about this in storyline for a minute. Everyone that's tuning in right now, whether it's Mr. Mike or Neil, Sam, Near, whoever, say I'm going to wrestle you. We're going to have a match. Now, in storyline, I say to you, I'm not going to put my finisher on you. And I'm not going to put this move on you. And I'm not going to put this move on you. Now, if I'm not going to put those moves on you, why would I put those moves on you? I know that sounds brain dead, but think about that for a minute. Cody last week says to QT Marshall, if I put you in Crossroads, I'm going to break it. Well, genius, why are you putting him in the move in the first place? You see where I'm going with this? If the Young Bucks had compassion, like Nick Jackson or Matt Jackson had compassion for Kenny Omega, you just put the motherfucker in a pile driver. Are you okay? Is your necky hurt? Would you like a little back rub? If you don't want to put the BTE trigger on him, why would you tease it over and over again? It's just stupid. And what we get tonight is we're getting a great, fun main event. But towards the end, because Kenny Omega, his necky hurts a little bit, the Young Bucks are a little bit hesitant on hitting a move on him. Are you okay? And Moxley comes back in the ring, sees what's going on, and Moxley's getting pissed off. What are we doing here? This is wrestling. You know, you're facing an opponent. Doesn't matter. You can finish the match. And they're teasing the move, and the fans are getting annoyed. They're teasing the move, and they stop. And they tease the move, and they stop. And Moxley is like, pardon my French, Moxley's like, fuck this. Tags himself in, hits the paradigm shift on Omega, hits it again, and basically he's trying to finish the match on his own because the Young Bucks are showing compassion. So what did the Young Bucks do? They tried to super kick Moxley. One, it was like a little love tap because too far away. And they super kick Moxley, and then the camera is on them. I didn't want to do that. To me, I just thought it was stupid. If you're going to have that much compassion in storyline, fighting Kenny Omega, just like Cody did with QT Marshall, why even be in the ring at all? It's just a hot mess. So in the end, Moxley gets pinned. The Young Bucks basically, I guess, turn, and they're now aligned because Don Callis is on commentary, and Don Callis is selling it like, yes, like the band is together. And it reminds me a lot of the Inner Circle stuff. You know, 1 week, you know, totally against Omega. Next week, thinking about it. Another week, no, we'll walk out on him. That's it. What happened to Kenny Omega? If you walk out, that's it. It's no second chance. No second chance. Second chance tonight? It just feels like that Inner Circle shit. So what happens next week? You know, because Eddie Kingston came out there and got his ass kicked too. Now what is it going to be? Eddie Kingston and Moxley against the Good Brothers? It just, I don't know. Go with something and stick with it. Instead of teasing, maybe, I don't know, yes, but no, really no, and maybe, and it's an ongoing thing. So, thank you, Southern Love, for the kind words. Yeah, I had to go to a wedding Saturday, and my parents went. I will tell you that my father was very, very angry later on in the night. He was out way too long, and he was in bad shape. Easter Sunday, he was in bed all day. But, you know, for the time we shared together, it was really nice. But so AEW, you know, that's how they went off the air. And, you know, the episode was not horrible. Jericho's promo was one of those you'll remember a long time. Tyson, for what he needed to do, he did it good enough. With the exception of that, you know, Caster against Hangman Page was kind of blah. The women's match was blah. What they're doing to Sheeta is a joke. And, you know, you really didn't have a lot of standout matches today. J.D. Drake versus Darby Allin was decent, but, you know, some of the things that Drake was doing, you know, that's not acceptable for prime time which you would consider the number 2 promotion, it's just, I don't know. It just wasn't enough for me. You could see next week they're trying to turn it up a notch a little bit, being their first Dynamite truly unopposed. I mean, we've had 1 or 2 episodes over the last year unopposed because of, playoffs and stuff like that. But now it's a mindset. Now, going forward, no wrestling is going to go up against AEW. That's going to be really interesting because you wonder, when you see those ratings dips for certain people, you may not get those viewers back, as we've talked about with various wrestlers over the year doing the quarter-hour ratings. You're going to see some dips, and if we start seeing a trend with certain individuals, you don't have those people out there, addressing it, but instead cake and ice cream excuses all the time. You're hurting not only the company, you're hurting those performers as well. So, but yeah, Tony, it's number 2 by default, absolutely. But look, you get a $155 million deal. Shit, I would cry if I got a $155,000 deal with anybody right now. That's a big deal. That gives them security for a couple of years. Paul White, the signing is ending up exactly what most of us thought it was going to be. He was going to do the commentary, work behind the scenes, help mentor some people, be like, an ambassador for AEW as well. They're not throwing him out there in the ring. He will have an occasional match here and there. You'll probably see somebody come to the announcer's table and fuck with Paul White, and that would lead to a match. That's how they're going to use him. And it's better than what they were doing with him in WWE. What do you want him to do? Walk in the back with the scooter thing? Where they tease like he's going to get kicked? Come on. Christian, they got to up a little bit. Because like I said, that shirt, outwork everyone. Christian, ecstatic that he is back. Happy for the guy. So happy for that guy. Because, again, I didn't have that sign for him in the Hall of Fame if I really, really didn't care about that guy. But come on, outwork everyone. It's once a month. They're going to have to change the shirt to part-time work everyone, because he gets announced, cuts a promo, backstage segment, challenge to a match, has one match. Then this week ponders on the week before. Next week turns down Team Taz. Maybe the week after he has a match against Ricky Starks or someone, or maybe 2 weeks after, or maybe May 5th. That's the date that seems like they want to do their next, big hyped AEW TNT show. And then you realize, wait a minute, outwork everyone? 2 matches in a month and a half, 2 months. So, Christian versus Michael Nakazawa. I like Michael Nakazawa, but we need to see a little bit more. Especially when you come up with a shirt like that. We don't take it literally. We appreciate that he's back, and he should take it slow. Maybe that's why that shirt might not have, although catchy, might not have been the best shirt idea for Christian. So with that said, ratings predictions. Now, again, if anybody's tuning in late, I'm not going to give a ratings prediction for NXT TakeOver Night 1 for the simple reason that, once again, for people that aren't aware, Peacock was airing NXT TakeOver as well. On Peacock, there were no commercials. So if you tuned in to NXT TakeOver tonight and watched it on the USA Network, you got commercials, mostly picture-in-picture. But on Peacock, no commercial interruptions. So a good portion of fans watched NXT TakeOver tonight on Peacock. And if you think that they don't have a lot of fans already on Peacock, trust me, they do, because WrestleMania is coming up in a couple of days. So that is going to cut NXT's rating down by a third at least, minimum. So it's unfair to call a rating since Peacock's viewership doesn't factor in the ratings. That's why on Friday, I'm not doing a quarter-hour breakdown for NXT either. I will do it for AEW. As far as AEW goes, I tell you, tonight's show, even with that hyped main event and even with Mike Tyson, I don't think it's going to do the same number that they did with Shaq. Yes, Shaq was hyped as far as having a match. Mike Tyson was not having a match. But Mike Tyson still is a big name. I think AEW this week does a fairly low number. I think that they do in the 7s. I would be shocked if they went over 8. And I'm tempted to go with 808, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near there. I think it's going to be 771. 771. I think you get a little bit of a jolt because of Tyson. The main event had strong names on it, although the execution was kind of crappy. But in between, there was a lot of nonsense, and NXT was advertising some pretty solid matches, and they delivered. I watched about 90% of NXT tonight. We'll cover that tomorrow. So I'm going to go 767 for AEW. I'll go 761. 761, and I will not be surprised if that number is even lower than that. So, yeah. Oh, shout out to Mish. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But tomorrow night, NXT TakeOver Night 2 begins at 8 o'clock. It's expected to end around 10 o'clock as well. So I plan on being here right after TakeOver ends. And tomorrow night will be a recap and a review of both nights of TakeOver, Night 1 and Night 2. We'll talk about whatever we want to get into as well. And then remember, on Friday, it's SmackDown, and we'll blow through that because it's just going to be the lead-in into Mania. So don't expect any earth-shattering changes Friday. It's going to. I know they're doing, some special WrestleMania theme to it, but there's going to be far less as far as matches. Going to be a lot of skits and segments. But we'll talk about SmackDown. We will do WrestleMania predictions on Friday, and we'll do AEW quarter-hour ratings and go from there. Don't forget, Saturday, I will be here right after WrestleMania Night 1. I will be here Sunday for the recap for WrestleMania Night 2. We will split it up into 2 days so we don't have a 5-hour show. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, look, I know some of you out there are going to WrestleMania, and I'll repeat what I said yesterday. Be careful, have fun, and try to avoid social media as much as possible, because you will be confronted by loads and loads of people who are going to call you super spreaders, that they're going to tell you that you have no business being around that, where we're still with COVID. Now they're talking about a new variant from the UK that's in the United States and this and that. Just be careful. Social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands, use sanitizer, and be smart. Have fun, scream your ass off, cheer, boo, do whatever you want to do. Enjoy yourself. Do not get consumed with the people online that are going to guilt you that you're doing something wrong. Trust me, I've been there, done it, and it's not fun having people guilt you for doing things that make you happy. So have a great time. I am looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to TakeOver tomorrow night. We'll see if Karrion Kross could bring it to the finish line. And I'll tell you this much. As long as he doesn't get in trouble with WWE, if he does get that title, all right, because I've joked with him before, I don't do interviews. The only interview I think I've ever done really was just for the Conan Drive. I don't do interviews, but I think we may need to make an exception in that case. So got to do something. But all right, so I'm going to jet out of here. And as I always, we're like 10 seconds away from the 2-hour mark. So, wow, I get to do it in 2 hours. So, everyone, much love. Post your comments. Tomorrow, I'm going to spend a couple of hours catching up with comments over the last week. And so, look out for that. And I hope to see you all tomorrow night, 10:05 p.m. Eastern, right after NXT TakeOver. If NXT TakeOver goes a little late, then obviously the show will start a little bit later. But we will definitely have a lot of fun. So, I see a lot of you. Well, Metallica really wasn't an interview with Trina Michaels. We were just casual conversation. She was a fan of the show. Trina Michaels is an adult film star, very talented one at that. I hope she's doing well, and huge wrestling fan. And she was cool people, definitely cool people. But as far as a full-blown interview, advertising interview, I don't do them. So might have to make an exception. And good for you, big dog. He farted, just to let everybody know. But join me, everyone, tomorrow night, 10:05 p.m. Eastern. And have a great night. Much love as always. And I'll catch you all again tomorrow. Ciao, everybody.